edit the title later.
We're going. Welcome to the Last Give podcast. We are on episode
This
5
is
right now.
this is not the last good podcast. You said
Running
we're
Gun podcast.
see. Look, I'm not the only one.
Going on. Hey, the Last Give podcast is gone though for right now. So I'm not
Yes,
wrong, but we
yes,
are the Running Gun podcast episode 5. I did
yes.
that to myself. That's a neck. My bad. Oh well. We're on a rough start already anyway.
We are. I don't know where Coach Lemke is. He's supposed to
I think
be.
we had a time zone mix up, guys. JP
I
forgot
think
to put Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight. I don't even know what it is during daylight savings.
maybe I don't know
Instead of
because
Central, who knows?
our time zones are different. Because I forget he's in Texas now versus in Florida, so the time zone is shifted now. So, oh, I'm almost home. Oh wait, yeah, he just okay, yeah. So he did remember. He did remember. He will be here shortly. I'm almost home. Give me 5. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
All right,
cool.
traffic. All right, we're gonna roll. We've had traffic issues before. We're not gonna take that against anybody.
Exactly.
But yes, episode 5. We have Coach Dan Monkey joining the show in a couple of minutes. Talk, uh, Prairie review stuff. I guess I don't know exactly.
It's gonna be more than Prairie View. So we're gonna talk a couple things. We are gonna talk about Prairie View, the expectations for 2022. As you know, they missed out on a SWAC West title and heading to the SWAC championship to get a rematch at Jackson State because of the fact that Southern basically took them out and had a better record than them. So, this year is going to be interesting. This year also too for Coach Lemke, it's like a homecoming because Prairie View does travel to Tallahassee to play FAMU. So we're going to talk about, what are the expectations for that? A way too early dive into that game. Also, too, there are a couple.
Way too early.
Yeah, no, really, we just finished the Super Bowl. We haven't even had all the senior bowls yet. But we're also going to talk about,
HBCU Legacy Bowl going on right now in New Orleans.
yes, this weekend at 4:30.
So,
Yeah, I
something
believe
like
it's
that. It's like
on.
Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday at 4:30, I believe. It's on NFL Network, so tune in for that. You got guys like Xavier Smith, who did in fact run a 4.38 and then 4.39 as his 2 times for that, which was impressive. But call me crazy, but you're gonna like what I have to say about Xavier Smith and what team I think he should land with, and where I think he
Kansas
should
City.
go. You're gonna like what I have to say. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Always leave them wanting more. I should say, America. But yeah, no, I like his chances. You have another guy like Dallas Daniels. Yeah, that's his name, Dallas Daniels, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Jackson State.
and then what else we got out there? We have a Daytona 500 winner. If you watched it,
Mm-mm.
it was actually pretty good, dude. It went better than last year's race because last year's race was stopped and then it was like a 5-hour rain delay and then picked back up and it didn't finish till like 12 o'clock at night. And then there was a crash on the last lap as well last year. So this year,
Yeah.
but the thing that got me was I thought the Daytona 500 was actually 500 laps. I didn't know that it was 500 miles, but 200 laps.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. This goes to show how much I know about racing, and I was literally 15 minutes away from the speedway.
Pitiful, pitiful, pitiful. Anyway, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. What do you want to do to start with? We're just gonna hang around in the intros portion, waiting for him.
Yeah, I think we can just do that. Of course, I mean we can tell the people about how our day went, how our day went. So Ace, how was your day?
Um, pretty mid.
Pretty
Had a
mid.
fight with the church. That was fun,
It's good. Also, we
but
have to
we're
give
not getting into it.
a happy birthday shout out to Flash.
Flash. He's an old man now, guys.
What is he? 24.
Flash is old.
He's 24. Okay, so he's 24. I'm 25. That means what are you still 18?
19.
Oh, Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Yeah, guys. He was watching Teletubbies this morning. So
Yeah, sure. I never watched that. I couldn't stand that. I call
like
people. I make Teletubby jokes. I don't watch Teletubby.
he was watching Teletubbies. I was watching The Young and the Restless. So it kind of worked itself out.
I was watching Young and Restless more than I was watching Teletubbies when I was small, so it's all right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, the art of ad libbing. The art of ad libbing. But
Ah, how many people you pissed off on Twitter this week?
how many people did I upset? Aside from
Yeah.
that, aside realistic, I think it was just that one Derek Carr guy. Honestly, where is he
You know
at?
the sad part is people got up and uppity about that, but they didn't actually go back and watch the whole video.
Derek Hudak Carr. This is the worst take I've ever seen on a QB. My IQ just went down from watching it.
Yeah, your IQ went down when you came up with that
He
what's it
did
called?
reply to you.
Profile name.
He replied to you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
the Saints just need a veteran like Carr with their top 10 defense and good offensive line. I'm hoping and
Huh.
praying we
Top
get
10
Carr.
defense that has no defensive line.
What else did he say? He said, I'm hoping and praying we get Carr and we do it now while these other teams are dragging their feet like the Jets waiting on Aaron Rodgers. With Carr,
Oh no, Aaron Rodgers. They said Aaron Rodgers going back to the Packers.
they did?
Well, Jeff Darlington said somebody told him close to the situation that he's going back to the Packers, but I said until Pat McAfee says he's going back to the Packers, I don't believe shit on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly. Like I said, when he gets done with all his, LSD and epiphany stuff, I'll actually believe it. Because right now, it's I'm having a tough time believing the fact that he is coming back.
But my thing with that is if the Jets think Carr is a Hall of Fame quarterback with them, right? They can win a championship and all that with Carr. They just don't sign him. You don't have to give up 2 draft picks to go get him. You're gonna have him cheaper than Rodgers, and he's not gonna be a retirement risk next year.
Facts.
Unless their whole plan is you bring Rodgers in, let him develop Wilson for when Rodgers retires next year. You got Wilson upgraded, I should say. That's
I
the only
agree.
thing I can think of. But
Agree. It
I
would
think
be,
I think Carr ends up with the Jets anyway.
it'd be
Or the
interesting.
Panthers.
Now that's one place I could see him too. Because I was thinking, I
Yeah.
was like, it'd be interesting if like all this bickering between the Saints and the Jets for Carr was just all for
It'll
nothing.
be it would be like how, you heard Cleveland, Atlanta, and New Orleans for Deshaun Cosby last year, right? But it was mainly New Orleans and Atlanta, and you had Cleveland just hanging out in the background. You're not hearing nothing about them.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, it'll be Carolina this year, same thing.
Makes sense.
I think so because if you watch the staff hirings that Frank Reich's making, those aren't developmental hires. Like hiring Jim Caldwell as your assistant head coach says to me, "Oh, we going for it now, man."
Of course, and I don't blame them. Why would they not want to go for it now?
The NFC South is a crapshoot of a division right now. All Carolina needs right now is a quarterback. Oh,
There we
he's
go.
here.
There's the man of the hour. What's going on?
Hey, listen. Here's what happened.
Okay.
I forgot we're Central Time, and you're not. First,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Second, it was Curtis's first helmet practice ever.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah. It's all good.
JP's got to pay up. JP's got to pay up.
So yeah, he's got full pads on Saturday.
What
Yep.
league is this? Because football season's over.
But they got spring ball out here.
Oh, okay.
It's Texas.
Yeah, so he's starting to play tackle football
Nice.
at
Okay.
5.
Nice.
I told JP, I was like, he was on East Coast time last year when he was on. I bet you JP
Hey.
forgot to tell him it's 8 p.m. Eastern.
You
not
said
Central,
8.
probably
I
not
said
Central.
we're good. And then, I messed that one up.
You're good. No, that was me. That wasn't you because this
You're
guy
right. It was you. It was you.
this guy right here next to me, he was telling me, he was like, you probably didn't tell him Eastern time, and I was like, oh snap, that's right. Whoops, dang,
Hey, I'll put it more on you than me. How about that?
that works. That works. That is
I
not
was enjoying football practice.
that. Hey, it's all good. That wouldn't be the first time that a coach has gotten upset with me before. I'll pay for it in the morning when I go to the gym.
There you go. When do you go to the gym though?
5 a.m.
You gotta go earlier.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hour
sir.
time difference, right?
Yes. 4 a.m. Got it. But yeah, folks, we got a good show lined up for y'all tonight. We ad-libbed for a good 9 minutes, and
We're talking some Aaron Rodgers LSD trips to Carolina coming in to sneak him out. Who we pissed off on Twitter yesterday.
I did see that. I did. Ace, that was all you. I saw that was all you. Now, from what I heard though, you kind of got done wrong. He didn't post the whole thing, just enough.
He did clickbait. He did clickbait on me.
Exactly. But it's gonna be a good show tonight. Of course, we're gonna preview Homecoming October 28th. Of course, we have to because it's a homecoming for many reasons. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the Daytona 500 and what we saw and what we heard as well. So don't go anywhere. The intro's next. It's going to be fun. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP. This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash. This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
the Run and Gun Podcast.
Well, first things first, we got to start off with, the Coach Lemke part of the show and everything. So, without further ado, Coach, how has Texas been treating you?
It's been good. It's interesting anytime you move around in this profession. We've moved a lot. So you try to dive in as quickly as you can into the university, into the community, and everywhere you're at. So
yeah,
this is actually it's a little bit of a new experience with having the two boys. Now, when we moved to Tallahassee, Curtis was barely 2, and Jackson had just been born. He wasn't even 3 months when we moved there. So that transition was different. But now, Curtis started kindergarten. Jackson's going to be in VPK or pre-K or whatever you want to call it next year. So with kids, it's a little bit different transition, but it's been good. Everybody's enjoying it. The beaches aren't the same, I'll tell you that. And Jackson's a beach, baby. So, but everything's been good. Everything's been good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So also, while Ace finds his questions, his cue cards.
No, I just pinched my finger with this microphone.
Well, don't be doing that.
Me and the mic's having a fight.
I have that. So, what would you say is the biggest difference that you've noticed between Prairie View and FAMU?
There's always differences everywhere you go. The beauty is football is football, and coaching the guys is coaching the guys, and the different personalities you have to learn along the way and so forth makes it fun, makes it a challenge, especially with how late I got here. Camp had started by the time I was able to get on the field. So that was a whole new realm right there, trying to get guys on board and get things adjusted to the way I was asking them to play after they've been in camp a few weeks. The support for the program, the pride in the program, in the university, they're very, very similar. Everybody has pride in both programs, so just the areas are a little bit different. You got the highest of 7 hills and you got the hill. So
I've heard.
Either way, we've been on a hill.
So is it like, because I know at FAMU it's an actual highest of 7 hills. So like when you go to Prairie View's campus, is it actually like a hill that you're going on, or is that just like what they call it?
There's a little bit of a hill. I don't know the exact, but as you come in, it's not like at FAM where you're going uphill. You know what I mean? But as you come in, because we live in Cypress, which it takes me probably 20, 25 minutes to get to work, which isn't bad. But as you drive in, you go through you go by the Buc-ee's, which everybody loves Buc-ee's. So I get to drive by Buc-ee's every day.
Dude, honestly, that place is.
It is. And Jackson, our youngest Jackson, loves Buc-ee's. Like if anything he gets throughout the day, it's a Buc-ee's treat. So they go to Buc-ee's and get him whatever he gets. But so it's not an actual hill like it is in Tallahassee, but it is affectionately known as the hill.
Okay. Ace, you got anything? I'm looking.
Yes, I do. So how much of the culture differences are between how it was like in Tallahassee as being like the capital of Florida, but not as like, big and busy as how it is in Texas right now?
Yep.
It's like
the university, Prairie View, is actually it's still in the Houston area, but it's out just a little bit, so it's more rural. There's the interesting thing in Tallahassee, you have some cattle, but Texas is a big cattle place, right? So in Cypress is very, very built up. But as we pull out of the neighborhood we're in, one of the ways to go, there's cattle right across the street. And then you got neighborhoods around it. So from my understanding, Cypress used to be more rural. And then obviously everything's kind of blown up in the past, I don't know how many years. So now it's really a big community. But, Houston, Houston's the third or fourth largest city in the country. So what I told Teresa when we moved here, it was interesting. Back when I lived in the Chicagoland, Chicago was the number 3 largest city in the country. And the White Sox happened to win the World Series that year. So we moved to Houston, and look what happened. So I guess we're good luck for the baseball team.
So I'm just gonna put in a request for you. I know you've only been there for like going into 2 years now, but if you could just get a job,
hop on over to USF.
You don't even have to go to USF. Preferably if Todd Bowles were to give you no, he doesn't even need to use it. If Todd Bowles were to just give you a job in Tampa. Because we kind of need a World Series down here.
Oh, how about this? Only if you get me season tickets to the Lightning.
Man, I can't even get season tickets for the Lightning.
That's that man's department.
I would try, but I could find some people to get you that, but I can't even get myself. How am I going to get?
See, I don't know if you guys know. I grew up in Minnesota. I'm a hockey guy, so I'm going to make you guys talk hockey tonight a little bit. But Tampa, since they came into the league, Tampa has always been that team for me besides the Minnesota team. So we went to that game last year, Curtis and I, and now Tampa's his favorite team. So this year, a couple weeks back, we took a boys' weekend up to Dallas. And I got the 3 and the 5-year-old on the trip. So Jackson was there, Curtis was there, and I was there. Went up there to watch them beat Dallas, mind you. They've won both games we've been at. So they beat Dallas. Jackson, was ready to go after about the second period. So we go over to the hotel to check in about an hour early. The room wasn't ready. No big deal, right? We'll
Yeah.
park. Curtis had seen a park on the map as he was giving me direct. He's a great navigator, by the way. Finds a park, and we walk to this park. The weekend before that, we had just had a family movie night, and I do this theme night for movies the weekend after signing date. So it was a pirate theme. So we're on this park equipment playing pirates. Curtis is the captain. I don't know what Jax is doing, but he's a pirate too. And Curtis and I are up on the equipment, and we're steering the ship, right? And I hear there's booby traps in the water. I said, okay, the water's the ground. No big deal. And Jackson's down there yelling, I'm dodging booby traps. All of a sudden, I hear this bang, and I hear him crying. Now, Jackson's not a crier. You got to keep that in mind. Jackson does not cry. There was one time we were playing, and one of his toenails got ripped off while he was playing, and we didn't know until we got home and took his sock off. Jackson, what happened? He goes, oh, yeah, it fell off playing. It hurt. So that's Jackson, right?
Tough kid.
So I'm looking at Curtis this way, and I hear Jackson crying. I look around, and he's laid out on the ground, holding his mouth like that, crying. So I go over to him. I'm like, Jax, what happened? I was dodging booby traps, and I hit the pole. There's a pole that kind of goes like this, a metal pole, right at mouth height. And I said, well, how'd you hit it? I was dodging booby traps, and I was going to go under it, but I didn't get lower. I said, oh, my Lord. So I called Teresa, and he's bloody and everything. I called Teresa, and she's like, you got to bring him to the doctor. I was like, oh, he's fine. I asked him, and, he says he's okay. Anyways, fast forward. Well, we go to the water park that night. We have a great time. We come home the next day. We have a great boys' weekend, right? On Monday, Curtis is home sick because of all the fun we had. And Jackson has to go to the urgent care to see what happened to his mouth. The doctor thinks he's got a hairline fracture. And they're like, we can't x-ray it. But really, the way he's acting, he's got a hairline fracture in his jaw. So that might be the last boys' weekend Jackson ever gets with me.
There'll be more.
He went to a hockey game, though, so it worked out for him.
Well, Curtis lost his first two, so at the hockey game, he fit right in.
Exactly.
Yep.
Lord God. There'll be
So you guys got to help me. Everybody that's watching this, you got to help me make sure Teresa lets me get another boys' weekend. Now, I can't promise everybody's going to come home and not go to the I can't promise any of that, but we're going to have some fun.
All right.
Can't promise nobody missing teeth.
I can't promise that.
Lemke, if you're watching, feel free to comment as well. Please let Coach have another boys' weekend. Please.
All right. I'm going to get into this football stuff. I got to ask this one. So, what happened in this fight with Prairie View and Southern?
I wasn't out there.
I got to ask about it.
Listen, I was not out there. And what you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of the coaches and some of the players from PV 2 seasons ago were now at Southern. So you can imagine how some feelings and things were going on throughout the week. So, but what actually happened, I was not out there. I don't know. So, yeah.
All right. Let me pivot over to what was the meeting like Tuesday or Monday, whatever the first day was back in like film room and up. What was the meetings with the players involved after that?
Well, first they had to figure out who was involved because nobody was out there. Like it was before the officials even came out. Like it was. Yeah. So I don't know. It wasn't like that last time where it was almost before and it wasn't like that. So,
yeah, they didn't even have jerseys on. They just had warm up clothing on and stuff. It was so I understand. And then plus I think it took forever for like the SWAC office to really do something about it because I thought some of those Southern guys were going to get suspended for the FAMU game, and they didn't.
Yep.
They got like one game, and it was the week before.
Yeah, the guys we had were out for I think it was our Lamar game.
Okay, yeah. See, so everybody only got 1 week out of it because no one could really specify what number and who it was and everything, such as that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and switch on over to the HBCU part of the show. So,
That's a good transition point.
That was actually good that you said that. Also, too, folks, as you're watching this, be sure to leave a comment as well. So first, Coach, we got to talk about the new rules in effect in college football that are
Yep.
coming this season. As I bring it up right here, so there are 4 new rules this year, guys. It prohibits consecutive timeouts. You will no longer be able to extend the first or third quarter for an untimed down if the quarter ends on a defensive penalty. The clock will continue to run after the offense gains a first down, except inside 2 minutes and a half. And the clock will continue to run after an incomplete pass once the ball has been spotted for play. So those are the rules that they are looking into changing. So, right away, Coach, I got to ask, how do these new rules quite affect the game? And how
Well, I think overall what they're trying to do, and again, this is just my take on it. I think they're trying to speed the game up a little bit, and also limit the amount of plays that are run throughout the college game. That's my understanding of what they're attempting to do with this. And the consecutive timeouts that will shorten the duration of the game, not necessarily the play time and the amount of reps that are taken, but start to finish instead of a 3.5 hour game, it may cut it down a little bit. But the two that to me are the most significant are the clock ones. The clock running after first down, except inside 2 minutes. Normally, it'll stop so they can get the ball spotted, and then it kicks in. So that's basically what they're doing with the incomplete pass, letting it start once it's spotted. So again, it's going to speed the game up and shorten the amount of time that the game's actually going.
Okay, interesting.
But not plays ran, or just like the game time itself.
Well,
Like not
it'll
like game time, I should say. I know you're trying to mean like overall time, like if a game takes like 2.5
yeah, like if
hours or whatever,
kickoff's
right?
at 2:00, normally with the TV game, you're factoring in if it's kickoff at 2, it's probably 5:30, 6:00 before the game's done. You know what I mean? So that's going to get cut down, but inherently, by running the clock, then you're going to end up losing some reps throughout the duration of that game. How many, I don't know. It just depends on the team, if they're up tempo or if they're hold the ball and snap within 5. It just depends on what their philosophy is, but I think it's going to cut some of the reps out as well.
All right, but like, say if they like pass this rule, right? How would that change? How would you coach your players on defense in order to like get them to fix the tempo? Like, what would you think you would have to do to help them adjust to that so they're not like after their play's over, they can't just not slack off, but like take a mental break to like
Right.
recoup themselves for the next rep? How would you get them to get ready for that in that
Well,
transition?
Well, I think from a defensive standpoint, this will affect it'll affect us, but it'll affect the offenses a little bit more. I think, just because with the clock continuing to run, they're going to have to get things moving, and defensively, you always got to be on your toes, ready to go, anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it really adjusts in the preparation behind it and being mentally locked in. But you do have to get them to understand kind of how the game's going to play out. Now, the one at the end of the first and third, all that really cuts, 2 reps. If it worked out that way, cuts 2 reps out of the game instead of getting an extra rep with no time on the clock in the first and the third. Now it takes time off the clock in the second and in the fourth.
Okay, that makes sense. So the other thing too that we got to dive into is, of course, the return for Coach Lemke to the highest of 7 Hills, October 28th. I was coming to it. I guess I can.
Yeah, I knew you guys were going to do it to me. I think it was Ace though.
It's going to be special. So you guys, of course, return Trayvon Connolly, the junior quarterback who passed for 1,478 yards. Your leader in the interception department, Gerald Smith, I'm actually trying to pull this up right now. He was a senior, but the way this super senior thing works. I'm not sure if he's coming back or not, or is did he leave? Like how did
So
that work?
the two guys on the team that tied with 3 interceptions each were Low Jack and G. They both had 3. So, and they were actually both in my position group. So I got to work with them, quite a bit. So I don't know where you're going with that, but it was those 2.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just going with because like I said, it's going to be a return home for you because like I said, I visualize you in orange and green primarily, of course. So I just want to know what's that going to be like? The plane ride in, and then seeing all of that as an opponent now. Like what's the moment going to be like for you?
Well, it's going to be really it's going to be a first. It's the first time that we, and I say we, my family, myself included, that we go back and play at a place that I have worked before. Because all the other places I've been, we've never actually gone back to where that is to play a game. About a decade ago, we played the team I started out as GA with, but they came to us, so we never went there. So it'll be the first time that we actually go back to a place we spent so much time at and put so much, effort into. So that'll be interesting. And we're all excited about that new experience there. But, to go there for homecoming, I know what the atmosphere is like. I don't know what it's like on the other sideline, so I guess I'll find out. But, it's a great atmosphere to play in. And we know that just like every other week in the SWAC, you have to prepare yourself for everything. Whether it's going up to Mississippi Valley, it's going to Alcorn, it's coming to Tallahassee. We got to do our due diligence and our job over here to prepare our guys to go into an environment like that. So it'll be fun, but I can tell you this, with going to Tallahassee that week, the very next week we come home to Prairie View and we got our homecoming. So we got 2 big time homecoming games back to back.
Because you guys
play. But you might not recognize it when he goes back to AMU though. Because remember, they got a new scoreboard and made some renovations to Brax. Remember,
I've heard.
They did. Go ahead, Coach.
I was going to say, but I'll tell you this: in my house right now, they're already planning the trip back to see their friends. And do the things that Curtis and Jackson love to do for those years we were there. And Curtis is excited, and so is Jackson. But Curtis is the marching band guy. He loves both marching bands, so he's excited to see that side of it. Now Jackson loves the marching band, but I'm going to tell you the truth of it. This past fall, from what I was told by my wife, the Black Foxes really got Jackson. So he's a Black Fox fan, but still loves the marching band. They still march around the house as the marching band, so they're really excited to get back and see it. And now I tell you, Curtis is worried though. He's worried that people won't recognize him when he comes back in the purple and gold. He's worried people won't like him anymore because he's in purple and gold. And we told him that's not the case. But, a 5-year-old's got his worries, right?
Yeah, no, I understand. So I think we all had our worries when we were 5. But it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is the first time I'm ever going to see a Texas school play, actually. You would think, all these games I've ever been to, it's like Texas A&M, all these other schools. Like, no, Prairie View's the first Texas school I'm actually going to get to see play.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I've honestly been looking at it and stuff, because if you think about it, 2021 Prairie View wins the SWAC East. They go to play Jackson State. They lose. And then last year, the Southern game kind of knocked y'all out of it and everything like that. So, I'm intrigued to see, can y'all reclaim the SWAC West and take that back? So I guess that leads into the next thing of, the outlook for 2023 for you guys. Oh, whoops.
Well, the big thing is you're always looking to compete and win your division, and
Mhm.
then obviously you really want to host the championship game. So that's always what you're striving for.
Mhm.
And looking back on this past fall, there's some games and everybody can do this, and all coaches do. They're like, well, if this play came out different, then you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But really, we had multiple opportunities to seal up the West, and we fell short. So the big push on it is to get the guys to understand we're that close to winning the West, but we've got to do our job and we've got to finish what we start and not let opportunities slip away. Because
Yeah.
really going into that last week, we were still basically in control because after we had lost to Southern, they went into Bragg and you know,
Yeah.
how things go in Bragg.
Yeah.
So that put us back kind of in that driver's seat the rest of the way. And we dropped a couple games after that kind of put it in limbo. And then they ended up playing Grambling in the Bayou Classic the week after we were done.
Yeah.
Had Grambling won, we would have gone. So it's one of those we're that close, but we've just got to make sure we focus on what we need to handle and handle our business, and everything else will work itself out.
I agree. Because I the two games I look at the back half, because I remember vividly because we talked about it. I was watching you guys' game against Alcorn on
Yeah.
that Friday night,
Yep.
and that was a game where I was looking at it with such intrigue, and I was saying to myself, I was like, okay, Alcorn kind of down on their luck this year. I was like, this is one game that Prairie View has to have.
Yeah.
They got to get this one, and if I'm not mistaken, it was at home too. It was at
Yep.
home.
Yep. And it was overtime.
Yeah.
It was overtime.
And then
So yeah.
that's one game I look at. And then there's also the Mississippi Valley game. It's just, and I didn't get to see the Mississippi Valley game. I was at the Classic, but I heard about it, and I was just like, it's like, what happened? I
Yeah.
was like,
Well,
consistent.
it was a long bus ride home. I'll tell you that. It was a long bus ride home. Now, the interesting thing is when they played on ESPN, they played A&M. They had painted the field, right?
Yeah.
Well, they repainted. They won. So they repainted the field, and then they beat us. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep painting that darn field next year. I don't know.
Because y'all have a turf field, don't you?
We do. Yep, we do.
Okay, I was going to say, and also, too, I admire the facilities Prairie View has.
Oh, the facilities here are top notch. The field house, everything's right there. It's a beautiful facility, and I think it might have been 10 years ago it opened up. I know it was when Coach Simmons had got here, it was opening up. So however long ago that was, probably I think it's about 10 years now, 9-10 years, something like that.
Nice. Okay, so and then one final thing too before we do move on to the NFL.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, this one, so HBCU Combine, and then also to the HBCU like Senior Bowl is this weekend too.
Yeah.
So
HBCU Legacy Bowl. We have to be politically correct now.
HBCU Legacy Bowl, because we don't want the cancel culture and that crowd to come get us that gets sensitive over everything. But
Ace, I'm gonna put it out there. Ace corrected you, so it wasn't Ace tonight.
He right. He's getting me. He's getting me at every turn.
But did you know Jameis Winston was actually a founder of the HBCU Legacy Bowl when he was with the Saints the first year?
Really? I didn't know that.
I had heard about it, but I didn't know he was actually like a founder. I thought he just like
he was one of the big like supporters in it and getting it going.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to ask here is, Coach Lemke is, as a Minnesota Vikings fan, if there are any teams or not anything, if there are any players playing in this game that you would love to see in purple and gold, who are they?
Well, first, I want to make mention that what was it? 47 guys were invited to the combine, right? Something like that. 20 of those were from the SWAC.
Okay.
So you do that. I mean, that talks about this conference in itself. So, and the quality football that is in the SWAC and also the MEAC and all the other leagues that are out there. But I was doing a little bit of research because I know some of the guys, right? But I don't know all. And what I was noticing, they said the top 5. Okay, and I don't remember the source on this, so don't get mad at me about that. But the top 5 they talked about was the farmer kid, out of the edge kid out of Lane. I think he measured in about 6'4", anywhere between 255, 260, somewhere in there. Had really good career up there at Lane. They mentioned Xavier as one of the top wide receivers, and trust me, I know about him. In his story, to me, I would love to see him get drafted, not only because I know him personally, but his story when he showed up in Tallahassee as a walk-on.
Yeah.
And, he went through the process, and now there's talk of him potentially being drafted to the NFL. That right there is an absolutely phenomenal story that I think needs to be told, and I think he's a guy that can live that out. So he's one, and they mentioned a few other guys. They mentioned the tight end from over in Daytona.
Oh, Kamar Everett.
Yeah, now that dude is a big dude.
Yeah.
he I think he was 6'6", 250 he was listed at, but when they came here, I mean, he was a big dude now.
Yeah, I believe it. He was the bright spot on a lackluster team.
Yeah, he's got potential. And then obviously, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Zay Land.
Yes.
And being able to work directly with him back in 19 and then be around him for the next few years until we came here, I really hope he has a positive experience and can go. I know he got drafted, what was it, 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
USFL did their draft. He got picked up. I can't remember who it was by, but so that's all great stuff. But as for who the Vikings need, I don't know. They've got enough going on their plate right now. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Cousins, and you know what I mean. So from that standpoint, I don't know how to answer your question.
It's actually good because that's another transition point, actually. That's an excellent transition point. But before we do that, Ace, I was going to say, the one team that I imagined for Xavier Smith is the New Orleans Saints.
They won't bring him because they need an X. They need the big body guy.
Makes sense.
Not quick and shifty. But they have bring in undrafted guys at that size to go and be really good. So it wouldn't shock me, but I see him. He would fit perfectly in Kansas City.
Yeah,
and they've been big in drafting HBCUs. Another team I'd watch out for is if the Lions don't keep, I want to say Josh Reynolds or Craig Reynolds. One of the two of them is a free agent this off season. If they don't bring back one of them, I can see him going there because the success they've had with James Houston. It's James Houston, right? Yeah, it is James Houston.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have to look at the teams that have been going to the HBCU well, and that's generally where it is because those teams are the smart run organizations. But for Isaiah Land, he got drafted to the Pittsburgh Maulers in the 5th round.
There you go. Okay. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna cut y'all guys off. I'm gonna say this though. The game on Saturday, there's certain. I'm pulling for individuals. Okay, and I've got 5 that I know I'm pulling for to have big games. You got AJ from over in FAM, AJ Davis. You got Fadul. You got Jose, Xavier Smith, and then you also got Victorian from over here at PV. So he's over there. Kevin Victorian's over there this weekend. So those are the 5 guys I want to see ball out this weekend in that game.
Wait, what's the kid's name from Prairie View again? KJ Victorian? Kevin Victorian.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for him. And then to answer this, go ahead. I wonder if a team would put. So to answer this question here, watch JDTV. So with the NFL, you want to be able to show your versatility. And for a guy like Xavier Smith, the more that he's able to do, the more likely of a chance he will secure a job. Because that's essentially what Marquise Bell did. he was able to show that he could play safety, he could play corner, he could return kicks, cover kicks, return punts, cover punts. So if Xavier Smith can show without a doubt that he can not only return kicks but cover them and do the same with punts, as well as add his versatility to his route running. So even if he may be like under 6 feet, if he can still play the X or the Z on the outside as well as the slot, then yeah, he's got a great chance of lasting a long time in the league. Because
All
that's
you got to do is make it as a gunner. Just practice gunning, and you'd have a job guaranteed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just work on some jams and run.
And he's definitely a guy that can do a lot of different things. You see him catching balls, you see him running the ball, you see him throwing a couple passes.
Mhm.
Past few years, he's returning kicks, he's returning punts. Like he's very, very dynamic in everything he does, and he can do a whole bunch of things. So I think that would help his stock.
I agree. And I will say that's one name that I would not be shocked if we heard his name called. It wouldn't surprise me because I think him, the kid at Jackson State, Dallas Daniels, I think that's another one because Belichick was saying that he really likes him. So it's a couple
Belichick
guys.
is not very good at drafting receivers, still. And developing, though.
So
Nikhil Harry.
Oh my gosh, why do you have to do that, man?
Well, Tyquan Thornton was good though, but he was hurt.
But with that, we're going to go ahead and slide over to Miss Lemke's favorite team, the Detroit Lions, and we're going to talk about, expectations and the pending free agents. So Detroit currently has 25 pending free agents coming up. DJ Chark, Jamal Williams, Alex Anzalone, Mike Hughes.
They're bringing back all 4.
Deshaun Elliott, Jared Davis, Nate Sudfeld, Isaiah Buggs, Austin Bryant. Those are the most notable ones on this list.
I want to see 2 out of that next 5 that they bring back.
Coach, I know you're smiling. You want to say something about this?
No. I'm just saying they had a much improved year. As soon as that Super Bowl ended, they're going to win the Super Bowl next year in this house, at least one of the 4. But to me, this is just me. The big thing they got to do this year is win on Thanksgiving because again, it was the same outcome on Thanksgiving.
It wasn't a blowout.
Now it took a lot.
That was the best game on Thanksgiving.
It took a lot.
That was the best game on Thanksgiving.
What's that?
That was the best game on Thanksgiving.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying.
You're right.
Go back to how many ever months ago we had this talk. I told you that what has happened traditionally over the last, I don't know, almost 20 years. I've been with Teresa on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope they can win on Thanksgiving to make her decade, maybe 2 to 3 decades. I don't know, but they got to win on Thanksgiving. But according to her, they're winning the Super Bowl already.
To make it feel a little bit better, I was watching the Super Bowl.
I can see them making the playoffs.
Yeah,
some people got them making the playoffs.
They win on Thanksgiving. They do.
And then you had Rex Ryan go on NFL Countdown Super Bowl Sunday and said it would be very interesting to see the Lions in this game next year.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
The NFC's wide open. No offense, Coach Lemke, but I don't trust Kirk Cousins in the playoffs.
I don't take offense to that. Not with it's purple and gold, but it's a different purple and gold.
Yeah, he's right. He's got a point. So yeah, I mean, honestly,
we know Philly's got a big off season of guys to bring back. AJ Brown already put out his ultimatum on the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah, he said, "You better pay Jalen Hurts or trade me wherever he's going."
They're gonna pay him. They're gonna
pay him. It's not much of a question on that. It's the defensive line that's got the issues for them because they got like 7 free agents over there. The Eagles are really the only big bad team in the NFC right now.
Facts.
Nobody else moves you. I mean, You got Brock Purdy's gonna be back for the opening weekend, they say, but he still has to get his surgery before we even know what happens with him.
Yeah.
And how is he gonna do when a whole offseason of defensive coach is getting tape on him? How is he gonna be next year? Let's say if San Francisco is gonna be a big bad team in the NFC. I already said what I said about Kirk Cousins. Outside of prime time, he's fine. 4 o'clock and later, he's terrible.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See that, and then you have 16 pending free agents for the Vikings this year. So Dalvin Tomlinson, Patrick Peterson, Garrett
Paying him.
Bradbury,
He's gone.
Greg Joseph, Nick Mullins, who's the backup, Irv Smith Jr., Jonathan Bullard. And those are the most notable names. Are all set to be free agents. Also, Chandon Sullivan.
I'm telling you, all they had to do, Cincinnati, give Minnesota a call. T. Higgins and a first and a second.
Yeah, Coach, you actually gonna like this little. You gonna like this. Listen to this. It's
I'm
actually
listening.
T. Higgins and a couple of picks for Justin.
I don't get paid the big bucks to know that. But it doesn't sound bad.
I'm just saying.
That doesn't sound bad.
Justin gonna want a whole. He's probably gonna want QB money if he's gonna have to stay with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. However, T. Higgins gonna be a little bit cheaper than Justin's gonna be. Might not be the same level, but he's pretty damn close. And he's probably gonna more likely take a pay cut in Cincinnati playing with his boys than he is gonna be in Minnesota. And he's already said he's wants like 30-something million. So I was about to say it wasn't that much you want.
Listen.
listening. We're listening.
His wife. I'm back.
All right. Wait, yeah, but we're listening though. We're listening.
Did he freeze? I think he froze.
Yeah,
he froze.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Oh,
There,
wait, no,
and he's back.
There we go. Yeah, you're good now, Coach.
I'm here. Oh no.
You're good.
All right. All right. I'm here. I'm good.
All right. So yeah, what you were saying though previously?
I don't know.
He said he doesn't get enough money to make that decision on if he would want
Yes.
to trade Justin.
Yep. That's exactly what I was saying.
Okay. Got you. But yeah, no, it would be interesting to see how that unfolds, because I mean, this draft you have other options. So like you could go out there and go get Johnston, who's the wide receiver from TCU, to come in.
He will go before they pick.
You think he goes?
Addison and Johnson will go before the Vikings pick.
Yeah. What do they have? What pick?
Low 20s, because they lost in the wild card.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they got. There's gonna be some guys gone before they get it.
I'm trying to look back at this now. NFL draft.
I can see Jackson, Smitten, and Jigba, maybe. Zay Flowers is another one, but Minnesota probably won't be drafting a wide receiver depending on what they got with Thielen.
The Vikings picked 24th.
Okay.
As far as their needs, let's see. The Minnesota Vikings draft.
Corner. Definitely need a corner.
So according to
edge rusher, offensive line. Maybe quarterback upgrade, but I doubt that's happening because there's not many quarterbacks better than Kirk Cousins available.
Yeah. Lamar.
That's an interesting one, because honestly, no one knows where he's going right now. Some people have said
Atlanta. Miss Atlanta or Miami.
Could be.
Let's see. What is it?
Our mojo slow down. Let's pick this up. All right. Does Aaron Rodgers go back to the Packers or does he stay? All right. Or he goes somewhere else?
I think he goes
We're
back.
Just do the full NFC North. I think he goes back. Where do you think? Where do you think Jordan Love goes?
Back up.
No, like where do you think he goes? He's not going as a backup. He's going to request a trade. He's not sitting another year behind Rodgers.
I don't know where he could go to where he could start right now because you still got to think about the
The
draft.
entire NFC South.
He could go to Baltimore.
Literally the
Todd Monken, he's right. That's that.
wait. Rewind that. I missed something. Wait,
He said-
Jordan Love in Baltimore if Lamar gets traded?
No, he said he could go to Baltimore.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
If
think
Lamar
Lamar's
got
going
traded.
back.
Yeah, no, that's another one too. I think Lamar's on his way.
I think Lamar's gone.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I think so too. Because doesn't he want a fully guaranteed deal?
Yes.
The
And they
Deshaun
don't want to do
Watson
that.
contract screwed everybody up. I feel like I think Lamar would have been already signed to his extension if that Deshaun Watson contract didn't come out when it did.
No doubt. No doubt.
Because Lamar's got a better resume and no off the field issues compared to Deshaun, and Deshaun got a fully guaranteed contract. Because I don't know what the hell Jimmy Haslam was smoking.
Once one gets it, it's out there now.
Oh, my bad. No, I was reading something. But yeah, honestly, it's like, oh, but I understand that too. It's like because of the fact that the Ravens brought in Todd Monken from Georgia. Now it becomes a thing where Lamar doesn't necessarily fit that style. He might because remember Todd Monken was with Jameis his last year in Tampa.
Right.
So
I see Jameis in Baltimore.
I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
We will, because that's an anomaly in itself with what can happen with Lamar and Baltimore.
I think the Rodgers is going to be the first domino to fall. And if Rodgers goes back to Green Bay, Derek Carr is guaranteed to be a Jet. I feel like that's just like set in stone, like as a cascade domino for that happening. And then you go to look at the NFC South, where both Carolina and New Orleans are going to be looking for quarterbacks. Carolina's going to be looking at a vet. Do they go with Tannehill? Doubt that, because Tannehill's going to get cut. Given what we've seen from Tennessee in the last 24 hours, they're cutting every veteran, it feels like. Wouldn't shock me if Derrick Henry got traded either.
Yeah.
Who's going to Tampa?
So they just
Pray for my boy JP. He's going to go through what I thought I was going to have to deal with Derek Carr, because I don't want Derek Carr, as you know. He doesn't want Kyle Trask, but he's trying to cope with it.
Actually, they just got their new offensive coordinator today that they interviewed, Dave Canales, who was
Wait, that's the offensive coordinator? I thought he was a QB coach.
I think he was either the QB coach or the wide receiver coach in Seattle, and he worked under Russell Wilson and Geno Smith, along with Pete Carroll and everything.
Geno Smith is a Buccaneer, guys.
It wouldn't surprise me. It won't be that expensive.
But if Geno Smith is a Buccaneer, though, I would not be shocked if you see a number 5 pick and number 20 pick both get packaged with like a second round pick next year, and the Seahawks go get number 1. Would not shock me.
Me neither. Wouldn't shock me either.
And they go take Bryce Young like they were planning to originally, except they didn't end up tanking like we thought last year.
One final thing before we do move on to the hot topics, Coach. Eric Bieniemy took a job in Washington. So, what do you think about his chances now that he's from underneath the shadow of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and now he's going to go work with Sam Howell?
Well, he did a great job, and that goes without saying. He wouldn't have this opportunity if he hadn't. But I think the biggest thing that stands out to me why he did that move, why I think he did that move, is being able to build his own staff and then also being able to call his own plays. Obviously, as a coordinator, you want to be able to do that and get input from everywhere, but you want it to be yours as well. So I think those are the two biggest things that we'll see how that goes, but I think he's going to do just fine over there. I really do. Plus, if you think, Kansas City is a big market area, but in the hierarchy of it, which program, which team, Washington or Kansas City, has the bigger name, so he can take that next step, or gets the opportunity to take that next step to be a head coach if that's what he wants to do. And I think doing what he did at Kansas City now, if he can go do the same thing and replicate that in Washington, I mean, to me, that would put him towards the top of the class for that next step, if that's what he wants.
Facts. Because
I think he's the next head coach of the Commanders anyway, because Ron Rivera was in an interview, or Champagne was in an interview, and they were talking about how the ownership groups looking to buy the Commanders were saying how they were calling Champagne to get him to come coach the Commanders, which means any new coaching group, the ownership group that comes into the Commanders is going to want their own head coach or whatever.
Yep.
So I'm thinking Rivera's probably gave him like full control of the offense. You're already seeing him make the staff changes right now. But it wouldn't shock me if Rivera's gone by the end of next year, which most likely is going to be the case. The enemy's probably the head coach there, or he just says if they don't want him, he has like above average offense, which I expect he will, because I mean Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin's a pretty good starting point for an offense anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam Howell looked pretty good in his one game, but then again, there was no film on him and how he was going to do. But got to remember, he was also a top 5 pick, projected before North Carolina lost half their offense to the draft.
Yeah.
So then you're like, could something be cooking in Washington? I'd still say Detroit's better than them, but I wouldn't.
If they win on Thanksgiving.
That is
if they win on Thanksgiving.
If they can win on Thanksgiving, which, you know what, Detroit, golly, just win on Thanksgiving.
That's it.
We'll leave it alone.
That's all the Detroit fans want.
Facts. And I will.
Now, when they do that, they're going to want the Super Bowl and they're going to win it, starting on things. But that's, again, you got to win on Thanksgiving first.
Facts. And I will say, all
right, let's do this hockey talk. What y'all say? We're talking about Detroit, the Red Wings. What's your wife's take on the Red Wings? The Red Wings coming up in them standings for that wild card spot right now.
Don't ask her take on hockey. She doesn't. She's
a Detroit fan, but she don't like the Red Wings.
She's just not a hockey person.
Does she like the Pistons?
But the Red Wings were better than the Lions ever were. At least the Red Wings got a history.
But you got to think. She's on the southwest part on the west side of the state where hockey's not as big. In Detroit, it is. But on the west side, it's not like Minnesota where hockey's just like that's what you do.
Okay. Unless Michigan's not like, and then you take over the other sports. But Jalen Suggs and Paige Buckers are just anomalies for that.
So let me ask you this now: was she a Pistons fan, or is she a Pistons fan?
She was a Bad Boys fan.
Okay, but wait, you got to remember 2003, 2004. You had Rasheed and not Rasheed.
She was a Bad Boys fan. She's not the basketball. She's not. I mean, she's 5'2".
So she was in
basketball's not her thing.
She's just full lines. All right, full lines. That's okay. Yeah. All right. What was this hockey stuff you said you wanted to talk about? Let's get into this.
So here's my question for you. The great one right now is number one in goals. How long until Ovechkin passes him up?
I think he's less than 100 right now, right? It's like 70 something. I think he's down.
He's 82 away.
82 away. Yeah, his dad died, so I expect a hat trick coming in the next week and a half. So that puts him in a pretty good pace. I say early 2025.
2025.
So I think it's going to be either the end of next season he breaks it or the beginning of the next season.
I think he breaks it next year. I do.
Okay, he's got to have, I think, there are 56 games in, give or take, right now. So that means you have about 30 late 20s, early 30s games left. So get into 50 goals. Do I think he's got a 50-goal season in him? I guess 39. Depends on if Dylan Strome's the center or Kuznetsov's still there next year. I don't think Kuznetsov's going to be there longer, but
I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done next year. I really do. I mean, he's what, 37 years old. How many seasons has he had 50 plus?
Honestly, like half or more.
That's I mean, there's only 3 people that have ever scored over 800.
I think it's gonna be sometime next season or the beginning of the season after that.
How many games he's got left this year? I mean,
Uh,
we're
I'm-
starting to
So
close
the
in
Lightning
on,
are
on
50.
the race.
All right. I know the Lightning are like 50 something. So let me just pull up how many games the Capitals got left, and I will tell you that. Capitals playing today? No. I know he was back at practice today because he missed a couple of games because of the dad dying. They
Is
don't
this
play
hockey
tomorrow. Oh, they do play tomorrow. They play the Ducks tomorrow. They got a rookie goalie, so yeah, I expect a hat trick coming tomorrow.
Mm.
Right
So it's
now the
79.
Capitals. Yeah, so right now the Capitals have played. Where are you? You're in the Metro. You're the 6th seed, 59 games in, so you got about 22 games left, I want to say. 23 games left.
Oh, where are they right now in the rankings?
They're the 6th seed in the Metro, so they're just out of the
So you
wild
get the
card.
playoffs
They're
there
28
as
and
well.
25.
I mean, you're going to get the
28 and
playoffs, and he's something else in the playoffs now.
So in hockey, they
Right
do
now,
Say what?
they are behind the Red Wings for the wild card.
No, I was saying, so in hockey, they count the points in the playoffs towards the all-time thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's if you score, you score. Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering because I know in the NFL they don't do that, so I was trying to see.
So the 2 wild card teams right now are the Islanders and the Panthers. I expect the Panthers to plummet coming up because the Panthers have been mediocre all year. I don't expect them to hold on to that spot at 29 and 25. They have 64 points. Capitals are 2 points behind them, so essentially a game back.
It's actually crazy. 'cause
That's the Red Wings and the Capitals are tied right now.
I got you.
So like, if the Capitals just gonna make one deal at the deadline, just bring in some forward help because they have been decimated this year by injuries on the forward
Mhm.
side,
Yep.
on the wings especially. I wouldn't see just get Ovechkin somehow for your defensive pressure off of him. Maybe you can get a
Yeah.
goal a game. If you can get average a goal a game, I could see he's 70 back, right? Or 50 back. How many you said it was again?
He's
82.
right now. He's 82 back because he's got 812. Gretzky had 894.
Ooh, bless me. All right, yeah. So average a goal a game, maybe for the rest of the season. That puts him at 60. I don't expect him to get out the first round. So maybe 3 goals added on to that. You're looking. He's got to get over 50 next season to get it,
Oh, he's gonna
which is
get
kind of
it.
pushing it.
I'm telling you,
He'll
he's
be a
gonna
man
get
on
it.
the mission to
So
get
when
it.
he does, you can replay this and cut it up, put it out there. He's gonna get it next
Coach
year.
He called it. He's getting it next season.
We
Now,
got
do you realize how big that dude is too? He's what, 6'3", almost 240.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big dude moving quick on the ice.
He's somebody who's gonna break that record though.
Who?
I mean, Ovi's gonna break it, but I can tell you who's gonna break his record. I'm gonna tell you,
Who?
his kid is gonna break it. Ovi Jr. is gonna break that record. I was watching him in the All-Star game. Your dad is Alex Ovechkin, and you're essentially your uncle Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's gonna break the point record at least, guaranteed.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
you get Ovechkin scoring and Crosby, Uncle Crosby teaches you how to pass, oh boy, that kid might be pretty strong.
genetically, it's there. Now, McDavid up in Edmonton's, he's pretty good too. I don't know if he'll get 800, but he's going to be up there.
He won't get the goals. He will get the points. He will get the points. He won't get the goals, I don't think.
Yeah.
He's not going to get the rings. No,
he's pretty good. No.
McDavid gets the ring.
No,
McDavid might take as long as Crosby to get a ring. The way how he plays and his team it's not going to last in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. So a couple other things too. So, congratulations, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. won the Daytona 500. Thankfully, that race did not last as long as it did last year, where it was a long delay and they didn't finish the race till 12, and there's still a massive crash at the end. But also too, Matt McClung cruising to an NBA slam dunk contest win. Impressive.
That's how bad the slam dunk and the NBA All-Star weekend as a whole was terrible. You needed a G League guy to. The G League had to come and save the NBA slam dunk contest.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I enjoyed the 3-point contest.
That was terrible. You had a guy who scored under 10 points.
Hey,
And
all I know,
3 of them scored under 15.
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
all I know is Shaq said that he saved the dunk contest. That's all I know about it. But Shaq said that McClung saved the dunk contest.
He did. He really did. His dunks were impressive because he got them all on the first try. He got all of them.
He's a good dunker. I'd say that.
No, because I was impressive. Because now it's like I gotta check this Mac McClung guy out, like in actual games.
He can't play defense though.
Don't do
He's
that.
like one of those guys who's just a pure hooper who can't play defense. That's the only reason why he's not in the league.
Don't do that.
Well, he wasn't in the league until now.
Wow.
Huh? There it is.
All right. We got anything else? I don't think so. This was a fun episode, though.
This was good. This was good, Coach. We thank you for joining us as always. We appreciate it so much. As you know, we're going to be from afar. We will be rooting for Prairie View. I will get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow as part of my punishment, and I will be. I will keep to that word. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to set my alarm right now.
Set 2.
Yeah. I'm going to set 2. I'm going to turn it on now. I'm going to set one for 4:10, and I'm going to set another one for 4:45.
We said 4, not 4:10.
Okay, got you. 4 o'clock.
What is this?
Hey, well, wait. It's got to be 5 o'clock because 4 o'clock Central Time. It'll be 4 o'clock Central Time.
But I'm getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
All right.
So then he's got to wake up 5 o'clock because 4 a.m. for you is 5 o'clock for him.
No, he's got to wake up at 4.
4. I got to wake up.
4 straight. He's got to wake 4 straight. He's just straight out 4.
Yes.
No matter
4.
the time zone, it's still 4.
Does it take the time zones out of this? 4 o'clock.
Yes. I set one for 4 o'clock a.m. and I set one for 4:10. So either way, I'm
PM, probably PM.
Well, I set it for a.m. We are all system. You know what? I'm gonna show America this. Both of them. If you guys can see that, 4 o'clock.
4 a.m. and 4:10. The one underneath was a PM, but we won't get into that.
Oh, but yes, I will be in the gym going to get it on Thursday. Thank God I don't have class on Friday because of a 3-day weekend, so it all works out.
There you go.
This
Exactly.
must be nice.
So, yes,
Anyway, guys.
Guys, I appreciate you having me again. I enjoyed it.
of course. Also,
Thank you, Coach Lemke, for joining us.
next week we will have Albany State assistant who was also at PVAMU, Orlando McKinley, joining us. So, Coach, also he said he wanted to say shout out to you, and he hopes all is well with you as well.
Man, Coach O's good stuff. He's good stuff. He's going to do really well in the profession.
Nice.
So.
I'm looking forward to it. Finally getting the chance to actually talk to him again since after I met him in 2019. So
okay, yeah.
So we're looking forward to that one as well. So yeah, we'll be right back here next week, folks. You know where to find us. Coach Lemke, for all the recruits out there and everyone, what's your tag on Twitter and how can they reach you?
My Twitter is @Coach_Lemke, LEMKE. Pretty simple.
Now hear that, recruits and everyone that wants to get at him, @Coach_Lemke.
Hit me up.
Drop him a follow.
Exactly. Hit him up, give him a follow. And then as well, too, don't add his wife because his wife cannot read film or anything like that. You have to add him.
Well, she's pretty good at evaluating, but she's not going to do it, but she can. And now I've got Curtis going on it too. So
wow.
Now Jackson,
whole 3-man committee going on.
hey, I can't get
right,
Jackson's
three-person
doing
committee.
his own thing. Yeah, Jackson does his own thing, but Curtis will sit there and watch film with me. He's doing pretty good.
This was fun, guys.
This was.
Well, you guys who watching know where to find us at Penalty Talk. All the good stuff, throw flags, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Anything else? I don't know we do.
No. Folks, as always, stay safe, stay blessed. We'll see you next week.